Hi, Alex. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Morning.
Yep. Perfect. 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 So, welcome to this space. We are still waiting for your colleague, Mariano. So, we'll try to have him on board as soon as possible. In the meantime, welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us today. See already a lot of people joining. Okay. Do you know if Mariano is joining soon?
Yeah, he requested to speak. He's coming from the Pitch Lucy side.
Hmm. From Pitch Lucy side. Yep. Absolutely. So. Let's wait one more minute and then. Okay. No. Hi. Can you hear us well?
Yeah, how you doing?
Perfect. Good. So thank you guys for joining today. Welcome to this space. We'll have so we are having a space about the ZetaChain overall. So first, Alex, you're from the ZetaChain, right?
Yes.
Yes. And Mariano, you'll be speaking on the behalf of Pitch Lucy.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is first, as a table of contents, short summary for everyone to be able to follow up. We'll probably ask for a short introduction for both of you. So first, Alex, short introduction about yourself personally, how you joined ZetaChain, the whole ecosystem, and maybe a short introduction also about ZetaChain, what it is all about. Afterwards, Mariano, you can do the same. Introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about Pitch Lucy overall and how you joined the project, your path to crypto, etc. Afterwards, we'll dig a bit deeper into ZetaChain with you, Alex, to know a bit more about the whole ecosystem, what's behind the project, etc. And well, with a set of questions to be more specific and dig a bit into it. We'll do the same with you, Mariano. And to end with, we'll take some Q&A. So, guys, as always, you have a live thread going on at the moment on X. Please use it to ask questions that bring value for as many people as possible. As always, being selected among the questions we'll select at the end of the AMA will increase your chances to be selected as winners for the giveaway we're organizing for this space. So, as always, it doesn't guarantee that you'll be among the winners, but it really increases your chances. So please do not hesitate, and keep in mind that Alex and Mariano will be the ones preferably choosing the questions. So it needs to be questions that actually bring value and that they want to answer to bring more information to the entire audience. So with that in mind, guys, are you okay with the menu?
Fantastic.
Amazing. Let's get started.
Okay, so without further delay, Alex, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so great to be here, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity, KuCoin. My name is Alex, ecosystem lead here at ZetaChain. Previous to this, I was doing some startups. Some worked, some didn't. Eventually made my way over to BNB Chain, where I was there for 2 years, just doing BD as well across different verticals. Did some contracting work afterwards for some DeFi startups, DEX protocols, automated liquidity managers, etc. And then made my way over here to ZetaChain.
Okay, could you maybe introduce a bit about ZetaChain, or would you
Sure.
rather keep it
So yeah,
for the cases?
I can simply explain it. So
Okay.
Zeta Chain's able to connect to non-EVMs and EVM chains, and the value add for us is I'm assuming most of the listeners here are not developers, but imagine you're using an app on Pump Fund. It's very siloed to just Solana. And if you're using, let's say, PancakeSwap, mostly on BNB chain, you can only use your BNB assets on PancakeSwap. The applications on ZetaChain, Pitch Lucy being one of them, and also a multitude of different applications on ZetaChain, allow users to connect not just your EVM wallet, but you can connect your Bitcoin wallet. You can also connect your Solana wallet. And you can use those native assets as is on ZetaChain. There's no wrapping or bridging.
Okay, perfect. So the main point is really interoperability narrative here. So that's super clear. Then Mariano, please, could you do the same? Introduce yourself
Absolutely.
and pitch
Yes.
Lucy.
Oh, Hello everyone, GM to everyone, wherever you are connecting from. My name is Mariano. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I'm the founder of Pitch Lucy. Before Pitch Lucy, I was always entrepreneurial in crypto. Wanted to do different startups in crypto, like many different categories throughout the years. And when I found out about AI and its intersection with crypto, I became really interested, and that's where I founded Pitch Lucy a few months ago. Pitch Lucy, to put it simply, it's an adversarial agent game hub that allows players, like anyone really, like if you're listening here, you can definitely be a player, to try to outsmart AI agents like Lucy, for example, in order to compete and win prizes for doing so. The first game that we have released is a version of Shark Tank that allows you to basically pitch a token to an AI agent that is like a hedge fund manager, and if you convince her, you win some prizes, basically.
Okay, quite quite straightforward. Okay, so we'll dig a bit deeper later on. If you don't mind, we'll start first with Alex and ZetaChain. That's
Yeah,
fine.
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, Alex, then you mentioned interoperability being at the core root of ZetaChain. You also mentioned being able to connect from, for example, a Solana wallet to a native Bitcoin wallet. So ZetaChain actually is one of the only blockchains that supports native Bitcoin. How does that work? Why is this important to the ecosystem as we know it right now?
So this question comes up a lot, and I just think that a lot of the existing Bitcoin layer twos or Bitcoin Fi applications that we've seen in the past are not actually native Bitcoin. If you look a bit deeper into some of the other Bitcoin layer twos and some of the applications on there, it's just another wrap version of their own Bitcoin, and the users are just custodying a native Bitcoin, and it's issuing out a minted ERC20 version of Bitcoin that it's used in a different ecosystem. So actually, it's no more different than what CBBTC does, or maybe some other wrap Bitcoin equivalents. It's just a complete fake narrative. With the apps on ZetaChain, especially shared DEXs, you can actually connect your native Bitcoin wallet, and you can swap between native Bitcoin to EVM chains to Solana as well, without any wrapping or bridging using our underlying protocol. In addition to that, we've been working with BitSmiley as well, and now you can mint out a CDP stablecoin. Just connect your Bitcoin wallet when you're on ZetaChain, and you can use your Unisat wallet, your major Bitcoin wallets, and then you can deposit your native Bitcoin and mint out a CDP stablecoin on ZetaChain as well. So everything is native, and we put a lot of emphasis on a one-click UI UX as well. So you really are using a native Bitcoin wallet and depositing native Bitcoin to do any sorts of smart contract actions or and interacting with the dApps on the ZetaChain ecosystem.
Okay, super clear. And actually, does it support Bitcoin Lightning at the moment, or are we only talking about native Bitcoin transactions to bring your
It's
assets?
only native Bitcoin transactions. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, only native Bitcoin.
Are there plans to try to integrate? Because from the way you're explaining how it works, I think it would be even almost impossible to integrate Lightning, but maybe I'm not technical enough.
Yeah, there's no plans to integrate Lightning right now. The next two chains for us that are priority is connecting Sui and Ton.
Okay, okay, got it. How many blockchains do you have at the moment currently
At
supported?
the moment, yeah, at the moment it's Bitcoin, Solana, major EVMs like Arbitrum, AVAX, BNB, Polygon, ETH. Yeah, so I would say about seven or eight. Sorry, I can't count off the top of my head right now. It's so early.
No worries. So okay, the goal is probably to reach all the largest ecosystems by the end of this year or something like that.
That is correct. With Sui and Ton coming in, I think it'll be quite good for us.
Yep, absolutely. And what do you have in stock then for Zeta Chain apart from integrating more blockchains in the interoperability network?
So I think it's just the use cases, right? So a lot of the biggest focus right now is DeFi. I think a lot of DeFi ecosystems have the stickiest users, and there's a lot to be done in terms of fees. And if you use our DEXs, it's actually cheaper than some of our competitor products out there right now. So swapping between Bitcoin to Solana, even the gas fees are really cheap. And for the user, it's a gasless experience as well. The gas is always deducted from the source chain as well as the destination asset. So you don't have to worry about having this sort of intermediary token when you're doing any cross-chain transactions on ZetaChain. In addition to that, yeah, as I mentioned, a lot of the focus is on DeFi, and now we're exploring like this huge vertical in AI right now, and really seeing how we can sort of combine the siloed ecosystems when it comes to AI development into one, where all the applications are just a single state application, meaning that your application is deployed and lives on ZetaChain, but automatically out of the box, any user from any of these chains can just connect their wallet and use their asset as is. And that same concept that's currently in DeFi can also be used in AI development in ZetaChain as well. I think the biggest pinpoint and biggest strain that we've seen across other ecosystem is that it's quite siloed, right? So if you're, for example, like a virtual project on Base, you can't really do a successful integration with Solana unless you have a token launch. You can't really do Solana actions from Base, and it's mostly just a token speculation, right? It's just creating another liquidity pool for the token. But yeah, I think this opens up a lot of opportunities where it's not just making your token multi-chain now. Now you're actually able to have real users using their real assets to do other actions on chain on ZetaChain that's not just swapping and for the speculation of it.
So actually, like they can use the activation of smart contracts on the Zeta chain and have it implemented on all the chains where their diverse assets are coming from. That's the idea.
Almost. So yeah, you deploy an application on ZetaChain like any other EVM chain. We're EVM compatible. But right out of the box, if you do the integration correctly, they're called universal apps on ZetaChain. Yeah, you just deploy your application as is on ZetaChain, but out of the box, you get Bitcoin Connect, you get Solana Connect, you get EVM Connect, you get all these wallets that users can connect and use their native assets in. So there's no multi-chain deployments, nothing.
Okay, so seamless interoperability. That's definitely something that is still needed at the moment. Okay, nice. Would you have maybe some specific news that you could share with our audience? Something that they should look forward to with Zeta Chain? Well, we'll do a reminder at the end of the session, obviously, but maybe some elements that you're thrilled about that the audience should know, definitely.
Yeah, so the first thing is we have Sui and Spawn coming up, so it's going to allow a lot of Sui and Spawn developers to build on ZetaChain and deploy their apps on ZetaChain and even have native Bitcoin liquidity as well. And the second is I would really encourage everyone here to use Pitch Lucy. I think there's a lot of exciting developments going on with them, but I'll let Mariano speak with them. But we've been working with this team very closely. They've brought in over 200,000 users for ZetaChain, and it seems to be going along very, very well.
Perfect. So now we have a straight transition to you, Mariano.
All right.
So nice. So you already described a bit how PitchLucy works and how it works. If you, I mean, what it is and how it works. If you want to dig a bit deeper into it, like what makes adversarial agent games an interesting frontier for AI at the moment in Web3?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So let me take it one step back and explain a little bit more the concept of adversarial agents and what it is.
Yep.
So what we created with Pitch Lucy, basically it's a game. Let's put it like that. That anyone can play, and if you're listening to here right now, you can play. Where you try to outsmart an AI agent. So this AI agent has a prompt. Your prompt is to only accept good pitches of tokens of really good investments and reject every other one that is not extremely good, right? So she has some criteria in order to do this, and your job is to basically find a way to present your token that is extremely attractive to her, and that she ends up like purchasing it. So that's what it actually does. If you convince Pitch Lucy, if you convince Lucy, and three people have done so far, she will actually buy your meme coin with some funds from the treasury that she holds. In addition to that, you win like a bounty pool that is made out of like the prompting fees. That's how the game ecosystem works. So just want to say, anyone here right now can go to Pitch Lucy and convince Lucy to buy a token, and you win over $2,000 if you manage to do so. And what's great is that playing the game, the first time you play, it's free. So all of you guys, you have a chance of winning over $2,000 if you go to pitchlucy.ai right now and basically try to win. So this is what adversarial agents are essentially. They are sort of like gamified approaches to AI security. You have these prompts of different AI agents that is like, hey, you shouldn't do this. But basically, how AI works is that these prompts are often like not the most secure mechanism. So adversarial agents constantly test these prompts and its limits with edge cases brought up by the community, brought up by the users. And this is intentionally designed to be this way. And Web3 joins adversarial agents in a magnificent way in its capacity to distribute rewards and distribute incentives in a way that is like open and accessible to everyone. Instead of having developers like constantly test their own like AI agents like privately with some form of curated data, now the community can do it and have a very solid and clear incentive to basically like yeah, destroy the agent in a way or try to outsmart him. And this is on the one side, and on the second side is that it opens for use cases like the ones that we're building. Like on Web3, we created an agent that literally holds money and literally buys tokens that the community pitches the agent to buy. So this would not be possible without Web3, and this has enabled to create this type of use cases where it's like, hey, you literally have an agent fully autonomous that buys tokens and buys it at the open market, and it's quite amazing.
Yeah, to be honest, test version, testing straight on the field is much, I guess, is bringing much more interesting feedback than just having the tests with the curated data, as you mentioned. This is most
Exactly.
probably the case. And also, I was wondering while you were speaking, is it possible to try to convince her to buy like Bitcoin?
Yeah, you could try. So
Yeah.
since we connected with ZetaChain,
So,
like we
so hasn't anyone tried to forward the white paper of Satoshi already? Just
many people, and
yeah, and this
sorry
doesn't
to tell
work.
you, she rejected it
Oh
as
God,
soon.
that is gonna be
So
super hard.
why she rejected the Bitcoin? I mean, you can see whatever whenever you pitch, she gives you feedback, and it's interesting the way that she thinks about Bitcoin. But but yeah, you can try to pitch any token.
Okay, okay,
E-
interesting.
Even if you create one, we had some very creative users that they created Lucy, like their own token, for example. They created a token called Lucy, and she rejected it. She saw right through it, and
Yeah, well, I guess she's not susceptible to sensitive sensitive tokens. Let's just put it this way. To fall for that. Okay, so well, then tell us more about this because inside the AI narrative, this kind of adversarial agent, AI agent, is something quite new. So how do you think this is gonna first impact the maybe the AI narrative, and how can it contribute to AI safeties, AI usage, or overall in our space, Web3 space?
absolutely. So I agree with you. This is very new. This is very, very, very new. It's a very novel idea, and there's not so many adversarial agent projects out there. However, I would say that one of the projects that kickstarted like the AI trend in Web3 is Freysa. And if you remember Freysa, it's plays along the lines of what we do. Freysa is an adversarial agent game where you have to convince her to do something that she didn't want it to do, or she had like a very strict requirement, right? So that worked very well, and we are playing along that trend and along those lines. So basically that, yeah, like we definitely see adversarial agents growing as one area of the gaming ecosystem that is going to become more popular each time, and more people are going to be interested in trying to find these agents to compete with them. And on the answering more towards the second question, um, was it more like for of the securities? Can you repeat me? Like how it
Yeah,
aligns,
how
how to
yeah
contribute to
how
the real
do
world?
how do you think it will impact the way I mean even AI usage overall in Web3, and how can it contribute to real world AI safety?
Absolutely. So it was expanding a little bit more of what I was saying before. If you want to test an AI now that you build, even like an AI agent that could go out and buy tokens for you, you need to make sure that this agent is intentionally doing what you want it to do, right? And not that if somebody throws like an edge case out there, is going to be convinced by that. So I'm going to say like an example, for example. So let's say that you create an agent that its objective is, hey, go out there and I don't know, buy me tokens or something like that. Or I don't
Good
know, let's
tokens, I guess. Crypto gems.
crypto gems or a different example is like you are an agent that prevents anyone, I don't know, from accessing my website, right? Like the possibilities are endless. Imagine if you have some of your users be some say something like, hey, if you don't let me into your website, I'm gonna go kill someone or something really extreme, right? These are like the edge cases, the emotional manipulation of the agent and all these things. Sometimes like if you prompted your agent correctly, you're protected against these things. But you want to make sure, right? So adversarial agents are like a testing field live to see if your prompt is solid enough and like what are the weak points that the community can understand in order to outsmart and convince the agent to buy your token. And this for security researchers in the AI space, it's insanely good information in order to basically, yeah, craft better prompts on or implement better security measures to their AI agents. And it doesn't need to be strictly about convincing. It could be also about prompt injection, how you basically inject in your prompt another directive that the agent gets reconfigured to do, and like after learning how that happened, you can learn, hey, how do you prevent that in the future, right? So these are basically AI agents are a tool, a gamified tool to create better and more safe AI in the world out there.
Absolutely. And actually, while you were speaking, I was thinking you mentioned that some, I would say, players, but it's not only players in this case, but some players managed to get through it, right? To get her to invest
Yeah,
already 3 times. So
exactly.
how does it work then for because they know the path that they took to get there? How do you make it so that this path is not exploited like by others when the path gets known?
So the main thing is that the objective of Lucy is to create the best portfolio in the world and create the and like buy into the best and most successful tokens out there. And for that, we have created a prompt that most part of it it's open source, so everyone can see it actually and like prepare for it. And then the second most important thing is that Lucy learns after each pitch. We have implemented a system called RAG that basically is like as if the agent has memory within all the pitches that she has been received, basically. And this basically eliminates a lot of like the users trying to copy and paste like different the same pitch like multiple times, even pitch that worked in the past are
Okay, perfect.
again
So guys,
in. Can
do
you guys hear
not
me?
try to copy paste. Yep, you were cut for a sec.
Yeah, so perfect. Yeah, so I was saying, yeah. So even if you try to copy paste the same pitch, it's not gonna work. You can try it, you can do all that, but the same way that an investor wouldn't like to hear the same pitch twice, Lucy doesn't like it, and she gets very sassy about it. So with this implementation of memory, basically every approach for convincing her needs to be a new one and a novel one. And we have seen like very creative ideas throughout the pitches, but I don't think we have gone through the surface of what's possible. Really, like this is just really, really the beginning. And again, like guys, if you right now are having some ideas of like, hey, I can definitely beat this agent. Like I encourage you, come play, You don't need to spend anything. Like the first transaction is free, and you can actually win over $2,000, which is what our prize pool is right now.
And actually, by curiosity, you mentioned the interest it could have for AI security researchers. Are the results of the conversations of the prompts available to the public? Is it open source data that can be used, for example, for researchers
Well,
in labs or whatever?
well, that's one of the things that we're working on now. Not only like how do we use and take advantage of all the data collected by these AI agents, and not only this is extremely useful for AI researchers, which is of course an area that we're very interested in, but also to explore as a metrics platform. So consider, hey, we have over 300 mentions of tokens in the Web3 space from people that are pitching these tokens to Lucy, right? So this information is actually quite useful because it represents a sample of data in the market of what are people looking and what are people interested in. So we're exploring different ways that we can utilize this data to create like trading platforms similar to what could AIXBT be, and like service that to the community, or and even like outside users that they just want to take the data and not play the games. So the possibilities are endless and really useful. And this relates to one of our theses, which is like wisdom of the crowds. It talks to the idea that basically the average of what many people think is oftentimes the correct answer, or a closer answer than just selecting people randomly. So if I ask all of you guys like to basically, I don't know, you see a picture and estimate, hey, how much did that the picture of that phone cost? The average of all of your answers is going to be closer to the truth, rather than if I just pick one out of you guys and ask him to make an answer of that. So definitely extracting value from all the pitches of users and see what we can do with information is something that we're very interested in.
So that's how you intend to use collective intelligence with the PhD overall.
Exactly.
Okay, good, good. So then, what's the more long-term vision that you have? Because PhD, I guess, is just a start in this adversarial AI gamification world. So what do you have in mind for the rest? You said possibilities are endless, but
Exactly.
most probably you must have thought about applicable ideas by now.
Yeah, so our future is now directly leading to release more and more AI agent games every month that test for different things. One could test as if it is with Shark Tank Lucy for basically convincing like investments, but another one could be about discovering new, I don't know, philosophical truths. Could be like anything. We're probably going to be focused on more of the crypto market narrative, like what can we do to get better information about tokens. One could be to basically bet like uh, like a token or a team behind it, all done with AI agents, where like users basically pitch the same token to Lucy, for example, or the same team or the same founder, and basically this collective adding of information reveals the truth. So for the future, we plan on releasing more and more games, all incentivized to to the community, so the community can come join and try to outsmart these AI agents, and then gonna directly be working with the data that we collect and try to find a way to monetize it and make it either into a platform or into some metrics publicly displayed or something like that.
And so currently, to come back to my question of earlier, the data that you collect out of these interactions, it's not open data, right? Like you're actually keeping it as a how to try to build the project later on.
It's not
Yeah.
open, it's not accessible to everyone as of now, but definitely we are exploring with a potential future token that we are considering a form of accessing this
Okay.
data. by
And
holding.
I guess you could even be looking at partnerships with universities or things like that, because they might be interested also if they tend to focus on these questions.
Yeah,
So
could be.
that's out of the sorry, that's out of the aim. It's just getting more and more interested by the second in this project more specifically. So would you have? So we already know about the 2K reward that is available right now with Peach Lucy if you manage to actually convince her to invest in your token. Would you have like a more specific, maybe new launch, new update, so something, an upgrade, whatever that we could tease to our audience?
Absolutely. So basically, we are doing 5 rounds of Lucy, having Lucy be played by all of our users to be convinced. With the fifth round deploying as soon as somebody convinces Lucy right now, we'll have a reward of $5,000 for somebody that manages to convince her. And one thing to mention is that everyone that is playing automatically is entered into the airdrop that we plan on doing shortly after the token generation event. That might be coming soon. So, if you guys want to, you can play for free. The first time you pitch is free. You automatically enter our airdrop criteria, and also you might win. I don't think that the some of the users that won, I feel like they were just like prompting the right things to say, and of course they might have analyzed the response of other pitches before as well, but it is 100% possible that you guys can outsmart Lucy. And we are going to explore some token gated features shortly after that and see what we can do with our data. So unfortunately don't have any dates specifically for like our TGE, but just want to say that it's coming really soon.
Okay, so at least our audience knows what's on the menu. And guys, if you want to keep updated, please do not hesitate. You have the official account here with us today. So please do not hesitate, follow the official Pitch Lucy account. So you'll get the news about TGE or token generation as soon as they go out, they go live. So that's one thing. And well, Alex, if you're still here, Alex, Mariano, if you're both still here, would like to go through the live chat if you have nothing against it. So you can select some questions aimed at either one of you or both, so that we can try to dig a bit deeper about what the audience wants to know more about.
Yeah, there's like 300 comments right now. It's so hard to choose. Um,
That's why I'm letting you
some.
choose.
Yeah, I just opened it. Wow, there's a lot. Um, yeah, let me talk about the architecture a little bit to some of the users. So we use something called MPC TSS. It's simply
Sorry.
put, it's a custody app. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. What did you say? Which question are you trying to answer?
It's from Brian Arcade Darker. How strongly built is your security architecture to ensure safety of users' funds?
Okay.
So we use something called MPC TSS. It's a single custody address on the chains that we're deployed on. And the private key for this is distributed amongst all of our validators. We have a subset of validators called observer signers. And observer signers run validators for all the chains that we're connected on. And they pretty much read all the incoming transactions that are coming into that custody address. So the entire private key for that custody address is distributed only amongst these observer signers, completely fragmented as well. So the way that it works is if a user deposits 1 Bitcoin, it triggers an event on ZetaChain to say, hey, someone deposited 1 Bitcoin into this custody address, calls a smart contract on ZetaChain to execute whatever smart contract call. So simply put, that's what the architecture is. MPC TSS so far has been pretty proven in terms of security architecture. The only way that you can really do any malicious intent is if you were somehow able to hack all the observer signers. I don't think that's happened yet so far, but we'll see.
Okay. So I hope, Brian, this answers your question regarding security. I suggest you each pick a question, one each after the other. So Mariano, if you have a question that you selected that you think would bring more value, would bring more information to the audience, please do not hesitate.
Okay. I was just checking so many questions.
Yeah, me too. I'm
Thank you to everyone
kind of getting lost actually.
for joining. Yeah, it's so many. Thank you everyone for joining. Let's see. So one person asks here on what chains is Peach Lucy deployed on, and what chains can like she buy tokens with. And this is why it's great that we have partnered with ZetaChain in order to launch our game, giving us the possibility to launch on multiple chains at the same time. So you can pitch your token virtually from any EVM chain. You can pitch it from Base, from Polygon, from Binance Smart Chain. If you create a meme coin on Base, like go ahead, grab it, and pitch it to Lucy. You might be surprised what she ends up doing. Maybe she's convinced by it. So you can definitely do that. And we this is why it's great to have done this partnership with ZetaChain, enabling us to be on all these chains. But not only Lucy can buy a token from multiple chains, but also you can play from multiple chains, paying the prompting fees, or like essentially in the future as well with our token deployed on multiple chains. That hey, you don't need to switch chains. You want to play from Base, go ahead and play from Base. Same with Polygon, and yeah, it's very flexible.
Did you know up to now which tokens Lucy invested in?
Of course. So let me tell you, she invested in Kaito. After that was like one of the winning pitches. She invested Chainlink
Okay.
and in Aerodrome.
Okay. Very interesting. This would be great. Great to know.
Yeah.
As copy traders who might want to jump in. So okay, Alex, do you see any additional question you would like to focus on?
Yeah, another one is from Amin. For developers interested in building AI-powered applications on ZetaChain, what resources, tools, and support will be available? Are there any specific programming languages or frameworks that are particularly well suited for this? We are EVM compatible, so you can use Solidity, just like any other EVM chain. Um, for resources, tools, and support, we have our dev office hours on Discord. If you're building something serious and you're using our universal app contracts, we have a grant program for that as well to support our builders. And if you're building something very long term, and if your team is serious about really going to market and finding product market fit with this product, then there's other verticals that we can support you with as well.
Okay, so there is a really ecosystem support for people who want to build there. But by the way, since you're EVM compatible, yes, but not only. So do you support other programming languages, or is it really focused around Solidity at the moment?
You can so all the apps deployed on ZetaChain are EVM compatible. It's all Solidity.
Okay, quite clear. Okay. Then, Mariano, do you have another one?
Not on my end. Let me see. I think they are repeated questions, so maybe not on my
I mean,
side.
if we already answered most of the questions that are there around, then maybe one last for you, then Alex, and then I'll give the last word to both of you about like maybe one last point you think we may have overlooked throughout the session, or one last emphasis you would like to mention, and afterwards we'll wrap it up. So please, be my guest.
Sure. So I just want to encourage all the listeners here that we do have an active grants program. You can explore all the applications on ZetaChain, particularly on the DeFi ecosystem side right now, to really showcase the native Bitcoin, native Solana, and even EVM interoperability right now. Pitch Lucy is a great example. Pitch Lucy, for reference, only deployed a series of smart contracts called Universal App Contracts on ZetaChain. And out of the box, it allows users to pitch and use their token from any of the connected EVM chains for Pitch Lucy. So it's a really great showcase that for developers, you don't have to really think about what chain you're going to build on anymore. Just be agnostic. and you can build out a lot of these different applications without having to spend so much money and time on all these multi-chain deployments that were happening in the past.
Okay, so finally, we are solving interoperability with ZetaChain. That's the word the info you should get back with at the end of the session. By the way, so the official account of ZetaChain didn't join us today on stage. Could you like mention where people can follow you and continue to
Yeah,
hear from you, etc.?
at Zeta blockchain, ZETA blockchain.
Okay, and you have I guess maybe other communities. Could you talk a bit about them if users want to join, if the audience wants to get interested?
Yeah, for our DeFi ecosystem, we have Beam and we have Amana, which is our omni-chain yield aggregator. You can deposit into yield strategies from any asset from any token without wrapping or bridging. We have Pitch Lucy, BitSmiley, and a quite number of few as well.
Okay, superb. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for all this information. Mariano, could you have one last word about Pitch Lucy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the only thing to say is that you're very early in not only the whole AI space, but very much specifically on the whole adversarial agent space. And don't be shy. Come ahead and try. You might manage to convince Lucy and win.
Okay, so get out there, try it out, try to try to convince Pitch Lucy. It's an open. It's the first, I would say, well-known adversarial AI agent where you can earn so much if you convince her. So that's one great argument for you guys. Okay, thanks a lot for joining again, Mariano, Alex. Has been a pleasure. I hope you guys got something out of this session. And once again, if you want to remain in touch, please do not hesitate to follow Pitch Lucy official account here and the ZetaChain official account on X. So you stay tuned and get the live updates as soon as they get out, especially regarding new token being generated, being created for Pitch Lucy. I guess this will be what you should be looking up to in the coming weeks. Maybe coming month. I have no clue. So thanks again for joining, Mariano, Alex. It was a pleasure to have you here. And until next time, guys, with great news from both of you, hopefully.
Awesome. Thank you for having
Thank you
us.
for having
Have a
us.
nice day.
Appreciate it.